All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have episode 8 of We Ballin, and that means it is the second part of our mock draft series. This time we're doing the North. So yeah, let's get straight into it. All right, intro recorded. You in? All right, cool. All right. All right. So let's get straight into it. So I should have the first round pick because the Browns are the Browns, and I do. So, Arvell Reese is here, but I don't think I'm going to take him. Do I fuck around with Ruben Bain and Myles Garrett, or do I go Carnell Tate? You know what? I think I'm gonna fuck around a bit and actually be the smart one here and not take David Bailey third overall, and we're gonna take Ruben Bain sixth overall. You know what? Fuck it. Let's have Myles Garrett and Ruben Bain on the same team and see what the hell happens.
You were going to try and play with a trade.
I might. We'll see. With the 10th overall pick, the Bengals are now on the clock, and they desperately need a safety. So Caleb Downs is on the board. I think it makes the most sense. Caleb Downs, I guess you're staying in state and carrying this defense for your next 10 years while Joe Burrow saves why Joe Burrow tries to save this team. So, all right, now I'm on the clock again. So with the Ravens, they need receiver, they need guard, and they need defensive line. Now, who can I take here? I can take Caden McDonald. I can take Kenyon Sadiq. Or I can take one of the wide receivers available, whether it be Tyson or Brazel or Concepcion or whoever. You know what? I don't want the Bucks getting Kenyon Sadiq, and they desperately need tight end talent. And based off the roster, they would happily use a tight end in this situation. So you know what? Let's get Lamar Jackson, another weapon, and Kenyon Sadiq. And finally, I can shut the fuck up. And Jens, you go.
It's pretty simple. Take tackle. And I think the best tackle on the board is Caden Proctor. I know he's your favorite tackle in the class. Big as hell. 6'7", 382 pounds here as it's listed. Super athletic. He's going to need a lot of work. Going to need a lot of coaching to reach his potential. But if you hit on him, you don't think so?
The only thing he has issues with is inside counters when he's at his peak shape. That's the main concern with him. If he stays in shape, he's a Hall of Famer.
Regardless, I'm taking him here at 17 for the Lions, who desperately need left tackle after letting go of Taylor Decker. Now, the Vikings and the obvious need here for the Vikings is DB, and Jermont McCoy is here. Gonna do something different. I was gonna go defensive line, and I was gonna take Caden McDonald here at 18, but with Gerard McCoy here, you have to take Gerard McCoy if he somehow falls to you at 18.
Fair, I couldn't agree with you more. Now, we have the Steelers, and they are on the clock. And you know what? This is the Steelers. It wouldn't be the Steelers if they did some Steelers shit, and they desperately need a QB. I don't know what the hell happens with Aaron Rodgers. And sadly, Ty Simpson is going to get picked higher than this. I didn't wish the Steelers would have to come down to this to get their QB of the future for the next however long they have their next QB, but Ty Simpson, you're probably gonna end up higher than this, but if you end up in Pittsburgh, you should be grateful. Alright, and Cleveland is now back on the clock. And what do we have at tackle still? Max Ironhaker. That sounds great. I'm going to take him because I think he's the best tackle left on the board. In fact, he's my second-ranked tackle in this class. So, congratulations, Ironhaker. You get to block for Shedeur Sanders for the next 10 years.
With the Bears. Gosh. I'm going to play around a bit. Go ahead and propose a trade with the Las Vegas Raiders. With this, Max For this
You're doing the Max Crosby trade. Max Crosby trade. Ooh, all
be
right.
for this because by the time the draft rolls around, you'd think the issue he had with the Ravens at his was it when being checked for injuries and all that his physical, you'd think by now mid-April he should be good. So value, do you think he could go for a first and a second, or do you think a first and a third at this point would be make more sense?
Ooh. Um.
With the Bears, they have 2 second-round picks. So if they do get asked, like, hey, we want first and at least the second, the Bears can just say, all right, we have 2 firsts. We'll pick 60.
Well, what I
The two
do
first
think.
seconds.
Well, what I do think that is more realistic is that what I think would be more realistic is that the Ravens trade 2 7th-round picks and lower their price in order to get Max Crosby and trade and team up with Trey Hendrickson. So that's what we decided to do here in this case. So at the end of the day, the Ravens ended up getting Max Crosby after all, even after backing out. It just took them at a reduced cost. So,
Wait, what? Did you just say 2 7s?
yes, I have Max Crosby on the Ravens now.
Mean you have hold the hell up. Me, if I wanted to do this, something live in a recording. So, anyways, I'm gonna go through with this. I'm gonna go ahead and do a first pick 25, 60, and the Bears get themselves the top end edge and Max Crosby in this trade.
Mhm. Okay. Now, Yins, I apologize, but I'm also going to do a little bit more trading here, but not specifically with the Browns. I'm going to actually do something that Fantasy wants me to do, and is actually make the Ravens go all in for a Super Bowl push. And why not give up a 2nd-round pick for George Pickens? I think this makes a bunch of sense here. So sorry if this brings you a lot of pain that you're losing one of your better young receivers, but I think George Pickens would be great in Baltimore, helping them win a Super Bowl ring. Because in this mock, because we haven't updated things yet, clearly the cap space doesn't really matter.
You think he'd go higher?
He'd go higher, but given
I think he'd go for a first. I think he'd go for a first.
he can, but I think he can go higher than that. He should go higher than that. But given where we're at in our mock, I think it makes sense. Now, the Browns at 39. They've taken edge, they've taken tackle, and look who's still on the board. Chris Brazzell. I think he can be a wide receiver 1 in this league, and getting three potential Pro Bowlers in the top 40. Not bad. Next, we have the Bengals, and they need defensive line. They need interior offensive line help. And from the looks of it, I'm not taking Emmanuel Pregnon this high. I'm not taking Chase Bisanis this high. So I might reach here. You know what? Ooh, Brandon Cesse's on the board. You know what? Let's get the Bengals secondary help, since there's nothing really they can get at this spot.
The first McCoy, because that just obviously makes sense if he falls there. Now, another big need for them is running back, and guess who's Price?
Yep.
I think that's pretty easy, pretty simple pick. Jarian Price, the Robin to Jeremiah Love's. Another issue for the Lions was really DB, and I think at this point it's specifically slot with Meek Robinson leaving. Man, you have actually quite a few guys you'd like. Keontae Scott out of Miami and Florida, and Tre'Don Stooks out of Arizona. But I'm going to go ahead and take Keontae Scott, someone who can play inside, play outside. He could end up being a safety convert, but I do think he can play for a long time in this league at slot E. Packers' first pick. Another team who needs corners. A lot of teams need corners this year, and I think every team in the league is really happy with how good of a corner class this is, especially the Packers who don't have a first round pick after the Micah Parsons trade. And we're going to go ahead with who I mentioned before, Trey Stoops out of Arizona.
So now I'm back on the clock with the Steelers, and I do apologize for not capturing the full screen while Jens was making his picks because I have something cooked up. So the Browns are finally going to get rid of the Deshaun Watson contract. Now you may be wondering who are they giving up in who are they forcing to take on the Deshaun Watson contract? And of course it's the Kansas City Chiefs who are going to give up Patrick Mahomes. We got to figure out a trade filter to figure this out. So now the Browns have Patrick Mahomes. Now with the Steelers, they can go several avenues here. They can go receiver, they can go tackle, they can go safety, and to me, the best player in this spot on the board looks to be Bryce Lance. He looks like one of the final early day 2 receivers available, and I think it makes sense here. I think it makes sense here at 53. They need receiving talent desperately bad, and I think Bryce Lance would be a good fit. So, boom.
This time we are going to actually make this pick, and we're going to go. You look at their safety room. You got Kobe Bryant out of free agency, Dominique Hampton, Elijah Hicks, and Javante Owens. So really, it's a big need now with and Penn State. Oh my gosh, the Penn State DB. He played there, and he left after rookie contract. What was his name? I can't remember for the life of me right now. Regardless, I'm gonna go ahead. Kamari Ramsey out of USC to that DB room.
All right, Cleveland is back on the clock, and are we in the range to take a guard? You know what? Yeah, sure. So with this pick, I'm gonna go ahead and just take Keelan Rutledge. It's the most suited guard, like considering like where he's projected to be. I would take other guards higher than him, like Josh Braun and Ennis Cooper. But you know what? Keelan Rutledge isn't that bad, and the Browns desperately need offensive line help, so Keelan Rutledge makes sense here. Next, we have the Bengals, and they also need interior offensive line help, and I'm going to let them take Jalen Farmer out of Kentucky. I think he's also a really good guard. Next, we have the Steelers, and they need offensive tackle. There's 2 corners, but I can wait for later on that. There is a safety that I could take, and there is the tackle, and I think I can wait for tackle for a little bit. So with this pick, I'm going to go with safety Genesis Smith out of Arizona. He could easily be a top 50 talent, but there's some things he had dealt with injuries, but there's some things he needs to fine tune in his game in order to make him the best player possible. I'm back on the clock again. Now with the Ravens
on the board.
What?
Guy that I'm looking at is still on the board, but the teams that I've already drafted a player that fits.
Mike Washington?
Yes.
Who do they still have? Derrick Henry. They still have Justice Hill. Yeah. You know what? Stiff guys who could run. You know what? Fuck it. Sure, Mike Washington. Cool. I think it makes sense. Yeah, you're right. I'll listen to your advice here.
That I was just saying, it's kind of crazy to see that he fell to 80. All right, regardless. Obvious pick up for the Vikings. They lost their center this offseason to retirement. And who's there? Arguably, would Connor Lew the center one?
I mean, you can throw in Cooper in that conversation if you want to confirm it to center. Like, center is the least athletic position on the offensive line, and so any guard that you think is not athletic but has good technicals, you can put them at center, and you can argue them in the same way as a Sam Heck, for example, or a Jake Slaughter, or a Jakob Burton, or Logan Jones.
Regardless, I think I'm going to go Connor Lou here. I'm wearing an Auburn shirt. He's the best Auburn player here on the board right now. And we're going to go Connor Lou, center out of Auburn to play back with the Packers. And I think they should take another DB. Holy crap, their corner room is so bad. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to double down on DB, and I'm going to go take Will Lee out of Texas A&M. I think he's someone, and a lot of it in our group believe he can be a first round level player and a top 50 level player.
Against
Getting him
LSU, he
here
was
at
oh,
a game doesn't make him a bad prospect, but getting him here at 84, I think, is a steal.
I will say this about him. I do need to rewatch him because I know he was definitely not looking the best at the combine. I know. I think I said that last week, or in my video that came out today. But yeah, he is a good corner regardless. I liked him more than Delane on first look, so I'll do a second check to make sure if I was right about that. Now with the Steelers, who is their nickel? Brandon Eccles, who came from the Jets. Looks like they could use a solid nickel. And look who's on the board, Jalen Kilgore. I think he'd be a nickel. I'm going to save for the names I want to talk about for later, but I think Jalen Kilgore can make sense here at this spot.
Bears in second. We traded for Max Crosby. You got to remember that. And I understand that we have a pretty good receiver room with Luther Burden and Rome Odunze. You traded away DJ Moore for a second pick, in which we used to go get Max Crosby. Seeing Dante Corleone here, I'm seeing Elijah Surratt here, Dion Burks, Dante Corleone, big run stopper out of Cincinnati. He has some bad injury luck the year before last, I believe he had some bad injury luck. He was a guy who's going to probably go first 2 rounds very easily in 2024, I believe. He went back injured, didn't have the greatest of seasons this past year, but he was still pretty damn good, and I think he fits what they need. It's a very good injury D lineman. And I'm on the clock.
Yeah, I'll jump in before you can make the pick. I want to shout out to the Patriots for actually being smart here and taking Markel Bell in the third round. Not bad. Anyway, continue.
Oh, I know why you did that, because the Steelers was at 99, and that's who we were going to take at that pick, wasn't it?
No, I wasn't. I don't know if I would take him or not. Actually, I think I said that earlier, but never mind. But yeah, I'm a Patriots fan, so yay. We shouldn't have nice things. Anyway, continue.
At 97, a lot of needs that you can fill up here. You have safety here. You can go linebacker with either Anthony Hill or Deontay Lawson. You got good needs in Bud Clark, Zakee Wheatley. Kendall Daniels fits here too. Daniels out of Oklahoma. We talked about him last time we did a mock draft, and I think he fits perfectly for what Minnesota needs. If you want him to play at linebacker, you can do so. If you want him to play outside in the nickel at the slot, he can do so. And at 6'5", 245, I think that's fucking nuts.
Yep, I agree with you. And with the Steelers now, since Bell is gone, the best tackle. There's 2 tackles I still have on the board that I would consider taking here. One from MJ recommendation, and also one that I think could be a really great project. Demetrius Crownover, really talented, has a lot of work to do technically, but overall a really good prospect. Okay, Cleveland's back on the clock, and you know what? No, I'm not gonna do that right now. What can I do here? I mean, the Browns, I don't think have a center from my memory, to be exact. Who's their center right now?
Check the site.
Yeah, I'm checking. I just want to see if you know, so I don't have to. Oh, they have Elton Jenkins at center. The hell? Okay, all right. Well, they still need offensive line depth regardless. So Logan Jones, welcome to Cleveland. All right, Bengals, you're on the clock, and you need offensive line help. And Bo Stevens is here. I think he'd be a solid guard for you guys. So yeah, welcome to Cleveland. Welcome to not Cleveland, Cincinnati, Bo. All right, Ravens are back on the clock, and what do we have here? Okay, thank God they've changed that. Don't think they're gonna get a receiver for the rest of this draft. Uh, yeah, maybe. You know what? I'm gonna take a guard here because I don't know where Daniel Vallely is at this point. I hope he's still not on the team. No,
On
he's
the
not.
team.
No, he's not.
Uh, they did John Simpson from the Jets out of free agency, and then you still have Andrew Voorhees on the left side.
Yeah, that's fair. I think getting the not backup center, backup guard would be key, and I think Inez Cooper would be perfect for that. So, yeah,
Come over to
anything to not have Daniel Falele again for another season would be appreciated.
if you want to. Here with the Lions, go ahead and take an edge, get some for the Lions for Aiden Hutchinson, especially. And I'm going to go ahead and take Tyreek Sapp out of Florida. With the Packers, outside of DB again, would you say they could take another wide receiver? We have
I mean, if that means taking
low,
Jacoby Lane at this spot, I don't, I don't really know. I don't know which receiver they would take here. Excuse me. That would make
like
the most
like
sense.
like Jacoby Lane. I actually do like Jacoby Line and CJ Daniels, but you already have a better version of those two with Christian Watson. He's had injury, just bad injury luck.
Mhm.
Tackle could be one we could take here. Be something we take here. What? I'm gonna go linebacker. You lost Quay Walker in free agency to the Raiders, and getting another PC guy in Deontay Lawson out of Alabama.
Mhm.
Linebacker does get some linebacker help.
All right. Speaking of linebackers, Steelers like their linebackers a lot, and I'm going to assume a random Alex Highsmith trade happens in this mock, even though that hasn't happened. And there's still a good linebacker on the board. Jaden Duggar out of Louisiana, very similar into how he would be used, like Kendall Daniels, but he's kind of more of the second round version versus the first round version, if that makes sense. So yeah, I like Jaden Duggar. I think he's a really great player. I think he can easily go day two of the draft, and I think he'll be really solid for the Steelers.
And after taking time, how is he still on the board?
Ooh, Wheatley?
Heatley, I don't. Best point. How is he still on the board here?
I changed some things around a
28?
bit. I changed some things around a bit. I ramped up the sentence to wild, so that might make sense. I mean, I
That's
mean, I wanted to spice something up.
how's he the Bears? I'm gonna go ahead and take a wide receiver this time. I'm gonna go take Jacoby Lane, as we were talking about. I think he's someone who can stretch the field for them. A tall, big kid. I also think he can put the field for you too. Just more receiver help for Caleb Williams, and an actually former teammate of Caleb Williams. They did play together at USC,
Fair.
but
With the
we
next
can
pick
get there.
for the Steelers, um, I look at their tight end room, and I see they have a six offensive lineman who happens to who happens to just catch the ball and run routes and truck over five defenders at once. You have a solid tight end 2 and Pat Fryermuth, and you don't really know what you're getting out of tight end 3. And Justin Jolly, I think, would be a good blend into their tight end room and diversify it a bit. It might not be their type, but I do think that having knowing what the Steelers do on offense, having a diversification of tight ends would be massive for them and allow them to get creative on offense. So Justin Jolly, salute to you. Good luck in Pittsburgh. All right, Browns are back on the clock. And do I pull the trigger? Nope, Cade Klubnik went ridiculously high. Nah. Who do I take here? Besides Harold Fannin, they have a tight end too. You know what? I think it's nice. I think it would be nice to have him upgrade a tight end room, and I think Jack Andrews would be perfect for that. Help balance out the room a bit. Not balance out the room, upgrade the room because there's only one real guy, and I'm not sure about their backups. He could be a solid, good tight end in this league. So, boom.
Oh,
Next.
UFL legend Sal Cannella
Wait, what?
was on that team, on that roster. Check. Sal Cannella,
Oh,
then former U.
UFL.
Yup, he was former UFL legend and
Gotcha,
USFL
gotcha.
legend.
I apologize. I don't know much about that UFL stuff, to be honest. With my next pick, with the Browns, you know what? Let's take a nose tackle here. I know they definitely have depth. They have Billy Collins, they have Mason Graham, they have Mike Hall. You know what? Let's bolster that up a bit more of Team Keenan. And Cleveland has another fifth round pick. Don't ask me why they have all of these. They definitely traded some backups for this, or starters at minimum. With this pick, you know what? Let's bolster the defensive line with some more of Albert Bridges. All right, now the Ravens are back on the clock, and you know what? Let's get creative with here. I think Zane Durant should probably be a fullback at the next level. Again, his 40 time is fucked. So, yeah, you know what? Let's draft your new Pat Ricard because this team loves fullbacks.
With the lines, we've taken CB corner, safety, edge, tackle with Caden Proctor, Keontae Scott, Tyreek Sapp, and Key Wheatley. Here you did lose only to the Bucks in free agency. So I'm going to help out with some linebacker depth, and I'm going to go ahead and take Perkins Jr. out of LSU. Could have been a first round pick had the injury luck not happened to him early in his career. Him this late in, I think he could be develop into at minimum a solid starter, maybe a solid backup, but there is star potential with him as long as he doesn't get more bad injury luck and you can coach him up. Because we're doing all right, I don't know where I was going with that.
When did this come out? What the?
Not their back room. Who's on the board? I do. Actually, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go running back. I'm going to go do exactly what they're going to do in real life and just continue to stack on more and more and more young receivers until all of them work. And I'm going to go ahead and take Kevin Coleman out of Missouri, someone who can play in the slot for them, someone who can play inside. I think he'd be pretty decent.
Okay, so I do apologize for being a bit distracted here, but I just got a story of Tiger Woods saying he was talking to the president while he was getting arrested for DUI. So, yeah, if you're wondering how he's going to end up, he's going to get bailed out just fine. Now, with the Steelers' fifth round pick, what do I do here? Don't want to take another tight end. Don't want to take him. You know what? Let's get the Kenneth Gainwell replacement in Jamari Taylor. Why not? Next, we have the Ravens, and you know what? They need receiver. Just take a day three guy, Tyron Montgomery. I think it makes sense.
I think I think tight end now makes sense. It's a very good tight end class. It's a very deep tight end class, and I'm gonna go Eli Raritan out of Notre Dame. He's someone who's had a pretty good, really good pro day. 6'6", 250. Someone who can block for you. Played at Notre Dame, obviously, and they've been having some pretty good tight ends come out recently, and I think he's going to be another one. Help out room get some more depth. I understand that Hawkinson has been the same since coming back from the injury, and help for development of JJ McCarthy.
Mm-hmm. All right. With the next pick, what do I do here? What do I do? Oh, okay. You know what? Let's have Kenyon Sadiq and Oscar Delp on the same team. Why not? All right. And with the other fifth round pick, what can we
You to get
do here?
playmakers. I say playmakers.
They needed that desperately, so I think it makes sense. But I didn't know you were gonna forget that Oscar Delp was gonna be down here. So
I took him last week, so I wanted
I know
to
you took
switch
him
it up.
round two. I know you took him round two. I thought you'd take him in round two again to another team. That's what I
Took
was
him in
thinking.
round two, traded,
Oh, I took
and
him in
then
round two.
took him for
I
the
mean, you were gonna take him in
Patriots.
round two regardless. So yeah, yeah. I thought you were gonna take him because I did that. Anyway, back to the video. Not back to the video. Back to the mock draft. I haven't taken a real DT. I've just taken a fullback, and I think Nick Barrett would make sense here for the Ravens because I think he can be a solid DT for them. So, boom.
Graham Glasnow going center, and him just straight up centers left. Draft like designated centers, but Pat Coogan's still here out of Indiana. Take a swing.
Alrighty. What can I do here? Nothing there. Um, at running back, they still have their guys, but they could use a nice backup to the room. So I think Hitch Allen makes sense here. I think he'd be a good backup for them and be a nice RB2 for them.
Once again, and we're taking corner skill players. I think I do think defensive tackle is very much still a need. There's not a lot here. There really isn't. Really stumped me. I was gonna go defensive tackle, and it's like Sky Gill Howard. You know what? Sky Gill Howard, 96. I'm down.
Okay. I'll do that when I get to their pick. With the Bengals, they still need center, and you know what? I'll take a guard who could probably play center for them. Take Josh Braun. I think just playing mid center if you desperately need a center that bad, and you'll have a good offensive line.
What a point. Best player. Going out, getting a running back, and I think a guy Eli Heinemrich out of Navy could be a piece. Once again, I think going with another running back. I understand you got Isaiah Pacheco out of free agency, but You do even better than that with Robert Henry Jr. out of UTSA. He had a really hot start to the season, then slowed down, but getting him here in the six, I think is pretty good value for the style of running back he is. He's fast as shit in a straight line. He has big frame, and I think he can be a good pairing next to Jameer Gibbs. And you still get the speed aspect with him too.
Mhm. So with the Browns, they're on the clock. Um, Wait a minute. Did that trade not go through? I don't think it did. No, no, it did not, I believe. No, it did not. So ignore every single trade with players we've made so far. That doesn't work. So with this Cleveland pick, let's take a QB because it wouldn't be the Browns in any draft without them taking a QB. And I think Cole Bain's the best one on the board. And at worst, he's turned into Taysom Hill. So I don't think it's the worst, to be honest. Next, with the Ravens, with their final pick, let's go with who do I take? You know what? It wouldn't be the Ravens without a developmental tackle. And you know what? Let's take Micah Peters here because I think when he's on, he's one of the best tackles. Actually, no. What? Let me rephrase this. MJ would probably want him going to the Ravens because the Ravens are more slower paced. So that should help with Micah being a beast on the field.
In the last pick, I'm going to go ahead and take tight end here. I've been looking at these tight ends that are still here. Tanner Kozai, Kazoil. Guys, if I'm not saying that right, and you got Miles Kitzman. Oh my gosh, I am screwing up these last names, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go Tanner. I'm I'm not even gonna try again. Out of Houston, just yep, Tanner out of Houston. Deepen up that end room. If it, there we go.
Okay. With the next pick, let's give the Steelers another developmental tackle in James Bellafé since he's still on the board. I've talked about him way too much and how much I love him. So I'm going to shut up here and just pick him. All right. Bengals are back on the clock. They have two picks in the seventh round, and they still need an interior offensive lineman. And I've not watched Matt Gulbin, but hey, if they can't play any of the three guards they've drafted at center, draft an actual center.
Pick here with the Lions. Best player available here just makes the most sense, and I'm gonna do it at a position of need. I'm just gonna go Cole out of Texas Tech.
All right. With the Steelers, this is the second of their. Actually, this is the first of their three seventh round picks, and you know what? Have I taken safety? Yes, I have. If they don't, if they need a backup nickel, Lawrence Styles could be good for that case. And at worst, he's a practice squad guy or a special teams guy at worst. So I think it makes sense here. All right, Cincinnati, their final pick, and who is on the board? I'll check running backs, and there is one on the board that I think can go way higher than this, but probably won't because he's 26. Russell Faison, I think it makes sense that he goes at this spot. He probably should go higher, but he's 26, so he's probably not going to. But he's a really good running back, so I guess just be Chase Brown's backup for a few years, or get your time as well.
26.
Yeah, he's 26. I mean, let's see. COVID definitely has a medical, definitely has a red shirt. He definitely played 7 or 8 years. years. That's how he ended up getting there. So, with my other pick, I don't know if the Steelers need a blocking back, but Jam Miller is really good at that and doesn't provide much else. So you know what? I don't know what they're supposed to take here. So just take a blocking back round 7 and hope it works out for the best.
Of the 3 first-round picks for, damn, 7th-round picks for the Minnesota Vikings.
You have 4? God lord. All right.
Yeah, I meant to say 3. Go ahead, take a wide receiver. More help for JJ McCarthy, more depth for that room. And take Kendrick Law out of Kentucky. Speed, a guy you can throw to the someone who can work in the middle and further field. Again, even more D-line help. Easter out of Minnesota. Actually, hell no. I'm taking Jordan Vanderberg out of Georgia Tech. Had a really good pro day. Showed off his. He's super athletic. I think he can be
He's a
a
day 3
defensive
rotation.
tackle in the league. Look, I think he'd be solid. That's all that matters.
Like,
Especially in the 7th.
Yeah,
Drafted. This is their first of 2 7th-round picks. I enunciate my words.
how many fucking picks did the Steelers have in this draft? Jesus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Fucking hell. Oh, good God.
Out of Kansas State, the safety.
All right, Steelers with the 12th and final pick of their draft. Bolster their defensive line because Cam Hayward is like 38 at this point, and he is on his last legs. And Tyler Onyedim is a decent player and is still on the board, which is kind of surprising. So, Tyler, welcome to Pittsburgh.
First of 2 Chicago's 7th-round picks.
You're gonna do a lot of talking in the next 10 minutes.
I have quite a few. I think I have like 5 more picks left. I'm gonna take DJ Harvey out of USC. So quick. You did and Devin Bush out of free agency. A very questionable contract. I think most people agree. I'm going to take a swing on Eric Gentry. I have no idea what he's going to do in the NFL because he has such a weird build. 6'6", 220.
Like Ted Hendricks build.
The movement skills to, and he doesn't have the bulk to really stay at inside linebacker. So I don't know what's with him, but hey, tall coverage linebacker. Maybe it's league.
Maybe if linemen were still 250 pounds back in the day, maybe he can play some edge in 3-4 schemes. Who knows? Honestly,
Vikings.
he's in the wrong era. If he was in 1960, he would be an All-Pro. If we're being honest. Anyway,
I think you could be an All-Pro in 60. No, but like you
Jim
go
Parker
to like 40s.
No, Jim Parker would pull from tackle from the right side and smug my ass every fucking time when I'm trying to steal off the edge. Absolutely not. No fucking way. Not in hell. Anyways, continue.
And I'm gonna take just another corner. I'm gonna go Amari Harvey out of Georgia Tech.
All right. With the Browns, I don't know if they run a fullback on their team, so yeah, I don't think so. But let's change that.
No.
So let's change that. Jaron Kanak, I believe, is still on the board. Where is he? Oh, Actually, never mind. Rohan Jones is still on the board. Um, he's going to be a good H-back. Let's take him. And you have
Final
final
pick
pick.
of our draft. I'm gonna take developmental tackle. Fale Falele. Gosh, why am I so bad with names? Tackle out of Wake Forest, and that all.
All right, and all right, and with that being said, that's the end of the second mock draft. I know this is a little bit quicker than normal. I'm trying to save up for when APOC in the West comes up because that will, if everything is fixed, because we did experiment with some things like trading players for picks and stuff like that. That's completely bugged, so we are going to get that fixed before the West episode. But once we hit the West episode, that's probably going to be the craziest episode we've probably ever had, and it will make absolutely no sense. But you know what? It's fine. It's APOC. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. We really do appreciate it. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Let us know what needs to be fixed to Mockingbird, and yeah, see ya.